Warning. The following video contains strong language that some viewers may find offensive or disturbing.
Redditors who have actually gotten married. How did you get your spouse's ring size without making them get suspicious? My girlfriend naps regularly, and is fairly hard to wake. For the past year or so, whenever I think of it, I've used calipers to measure her ring finger while she's sleeping. I'm keeping all the measurements in a spreadsheet. And when it's time to get a ring, I'll average them and convert to a ring size. I have no immediate plans to propose. This is just a matter of being prepared for contingencies. Closing parenthesis. I didn't. When I proposed to my now ex-wife, we had to then go get the ring properly sized. Now, she knew it was happening because we'd talked at length about the fact that we wanted to get married. For me, a proposal should follow the same rule that a lawyer has in court: never ask a question you don't know the answer to. I knew she'd say yes. She knew I was going to ask. It was just the where and when of it that she didn't know. I pretended I was looking up a nice ring for my mom for Mother's Day and basically just told her, "I know, like, nothing about ring sizes, but your hands are about the same size. What is yours?" Boom. Got her. I should add, I also inadvertently found out yellow gold reacts with her skin, so I made sure to get her a white gold one. First, know you can buy it larger and have it sized down. Most jewelry stores will do that for free. Second, take him out to buy a necklace or a bracelet. While out, either direct or better get jewelry store employee to direct to ring section to try something on. Also, if he already knows. And he probably will. The employee can ask without it looking suspicious. No joke. I felt the fingers and held the hands of co-workers and friends until I got to one that felt like my wife's and asked what size they were. I've been holding my wife's hand for so many years, it's almost a muscle memory kind of feeling. Sure as shit it was spot on. Mr. Bunny and I had discussed marriage already. I knew he was going to propose, but I didn't know when or how. So we went ring shopping and I tried on rings and got sized and showed him some that I really liked. He ultimately picked my ring himself. But he knew what I liked, so he picked a beautiful ring that I absolutely love. Here's a great quote that I love: "The proposal should be a surprise. But getting engaged shouldn't be." Even though I knew he was going to propose, he absolutely shocked me when it happened. He came to my work while I was at lunch. I was a preschool teacher. He made signs that said, "Will you marry me?" and all my kids held them up. I was stunned and could barely say yes when he asked me. Ha ha ha. When we had been dating about 2 months, I told her I needed her size and allergies and tastes for everything. I said that way she would never know what was coming for her birthday, Christmas, etc. It took about 6 months to fine-tune. But I then carried that tattered piece of paper in my wallet for 5 years, first kid, and it had to be revised. I had all her sizes and tastes, favorite scents in perfume, candles, favorite flowers, etc. in my wallet until I put it on my first smartphone in 1999 or so. Now, we use AnyList. Man, this made me nostalgic. It's been 36 years. Edit, typos. You could take a ring of hers and get it sized. Or you could straight up ask her. The fact you're proposing shouldn't be a surprise anyway. When and how you propose can be a surprise. But when discussing getting married, you could easily say, "Well, if I'm going to propose, I'll need to know your ring size." It doesn't have to be complicated. I got novelty hers Legends of Zelda rings for both of us and got lucky hers was a perfect fit, which made it easy to purchase the engagement ring a few months later. Not me, but my stepdad. He didn't get my mom an engagement ring before they got married. He gave her an heirloom ring instead, and she always said she wanted a small, traditional engagement ring, a small diamond and rose gold to match her wedding ring. So a couple Christmases ago, after approximately 13 years of marriage, he surreptitiously took one of her rings while she slept. He wakes up at 4:30 a.m., put it on his finger, and marked where it stopped on his finger. He then put the ring back on her nightstand, went to the jeweler, And together they figured out what ring size he needed. That's the way to do it if you want to be sneaky. But I agree with all the other PPL who have said that getting engaged shouldn't be a shock to the other person. That's kind of a huge life choice. And even if y'all agree that each other are the one, it's unfair to spring that on someone and force them to publicly decide in a matter of seconds. As a goof, we got sized while dicking around in a mall. Oh, fun. A jewelry store. Let's go look. Oh, fun. Here are the rings. Hey, what's your size? I don't know mine either. Let's find out. Keep it lighthearted and half-caring. Get the size. Make mental note of it. And move on without buying anything. Go to other stores. Keep the convo going. Then wait several weeks, months, years, whatever you need to do until you are ready. If this is too close for you, talk to her close friend on the side. Make sure you can trust her. And have the friend play that role instead of you. Now it's just a fun, hey, let's find our sizes between the girls. And you aren't connected. Friend remembers your size. Texts you about it. And boom, you got the size. Or you can buy a rough approximate size. And get it resized after. A lot of people do that to keep the surprise. Just suck on her finger and keep your mouth in the same position until you get to the jewelry store. Edit. Thank you for the awards and upvotes. My award cherry has been officially popped. I told my husband my ring size. Getting engaged should not come as a surprise to your partner. The day you propose should be a surprise. How you propose should be a surprise. The fact you are going to propose eventually and that you want to marry this person? Absolutely should not be a surprise. You should be talking about your intent to get married and what that married life might look like, from life goals to children, to religion, to finances, to work and housework, to where you will live, all of that, long before you pop the question. You should also be talking to your partner about the ring long before you get engaged. Maybe she doesn't want a massive solitaire stone? Maybe she does. Maybe she wants a platinum ring instead of yellow gold? Maybe she has a family heirloom she'd prefer. This is a ring she will be wearing every single day on her hand for the rest of her life. What it looks like will matter to her. So if you are thinking of proposing to your partner, you should just talk to her about what she wants. My wife wasn't much for jewelry, so I didn't have that option to cheat. However, I can be a worrywart, and this exact question had been on my mind forever. So, when we were dating long enough where the conversation of marriage wasn't creepy, but it was still way too early to seriously discuss this, I brought up jokingly that if the time ever comes, I'll try a string around her finger to get the measurements. Instead, she had said something like, just compare my finger to one of yours. And her ring finger was about the width of my pinky. It all was moot though. When I went to buy it, the jewelry said, do her fingers seem unusually big or small? And I replied, no. He then said, she's a 7. If I'm wrong, I'll resize it for free. She was a 7. Edit. If you are looking for real, and don't want your to find out, make sure when you do internet searches, you use an incognito mode. 4 years later and I still get Blue Nile ads in my Facebook. If my wife was the snooping type, she could have easily figured that out. I mean, I don't want to spring proposal on her as a surprise. She'll be fully aware of my intent to marry her, once we both agree it's a good decision. At which point, ring size will 100% be something I'll straight up ask her about. I took my fiancé out to get her ring because I thought she might want some say in a piece of jewelry she'd be wearing for the rest of her life. However, in researching, I found the classic stealth method is to get a hold of one of her rings and take it to the jeweler for measuring. Told her that ring finger diameter had the same length as a human eye and it would be cool to measure how big our eyes were. She didn't suspect a thing. Just wait long enough. Your partner will eventually drop a hint. My GF lets me know her ring size every day. She didn't wear or even seem to own any rings. So I brought up high school as a topic in general and asked her if she still had any yearbooks and her class ring. She was excited to show me both, and we found out her ring was almost a full size too big now because she had lost some weight over the past 10 or so years, and that was that. She had no idea and loved the story afterwards. If you live together first. You've talked about it so much that there's no room for suspicion. She insisted that we both get wedding rings. And we went together to a jewelry store, where the salesman sort of got into it and made a little sizing ring presentation ceremony out of the transaction. I'll always remember that, dude. Are you sure your partner would be happy for you to choose the ring? My husband knows I'm very particular about jewelry, and he's wary of spending a load of cash on something that might not be right. So he proposed with a Haribo ring, and we went shopping together to choose the real one later. After trying on a load, I actually ended up getting something very different from what I thought I wanted. I'd really recommend choosing one together. Plus the jeweler gave us a bottle of champagne after we chose it. Result: my wife made me a ring out of a gum wrapper while we were hanging out one afternoon, and then sneakily stole it back and took it to the ring shop to use for sizing. Then she surprised me with a perfectly fitting ring, haha. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification button. See you next time.